Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast, the podcast that has been gone for a while, but is back like a freshly turned vampire. My name is Dallas. I am Ryan Coogler's #1 fan, and I have been listening to the Sinner soundtrack for about the last 2 weeks straight.
I'm Cassie, and it's just like every time we do this, I'm reminded that I just live in a different world than y'all. I don't remember the last time I saw a movie in theaters.
Very different world.
And I'm Demi, and I would fight Dallas for that #1 spot as Ryan Coogler's #1 fan. But also, Ryan Coogler heard me say, make movies hornier. And he took it upon himself and put it on his back to do exactly that. And I gotta give him props for that.
For later, because I've heard some things that are very
keep it in mind.
Can't wait to answer those questions.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, if you cannot tell, we are talking about Sinners, but you also actually probably couldn't tell that we will also be talking about The Accountant too.
True. Which, just like, my brain leading up to that double feature, it's been 99% Sinners and then also The Accountant too.
Yeah.
As you can tell by the absence of her voice, Gabby is not here. She is off somewhere trying to get bit by a black vampire. We wish her luck.
Ooh.
Missed you guys. It's been a long time. I think I missed the last episode we actually did. So for me, it's been even longer.
You did.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 buttons and subscriptions and all that fun stuff. Because honestly, I'm seeing a lot of people do interviews with Ryan Coogler, and I don't want to say I'm jealous, but just because I don't want to say it doesn't mean it's not true. You feel me? Like,
Exactly. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm jealous. So I won't.
You tell us.
Yeah, Cassie can say it for me.
Yeah.
Let's get started with that 1% that Dallas was talking about, and let's talk about The Accountant too.
The Accountant 2. It is directed by Gavin O'Connor. Gavin O'Connor directed Miracle, that very, very American hockey movie that came out like 20 years ago. He also directed Jane Got a Gun and The Accountant 1. And the movie is written by Bill Dubuque, who created Ozark and wrote The Accountant 1. It stars Ben Affleck, John Bernthal, Cynthia Addai Robinson, Daniela Pineda, and J.K. Simmons. A little bit. The IMDb summary is, Christian Wolf applies his brilliant mind and illegal methods to reconstruct the unsolved puzzle of a Treasury chief's murder. All right, it's a little spoily. Maybe I should have read that in my head first. Whatever, it's fine. Accountant 2. I really actually do like this movie. So, like,
I do too.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's a good
I like
movie.
it about as much as I like the first one, which I saw like the day before I watched the second one.
Yeah. So I like the movie. The reason it only took up 1% of the space in my head is because Demi and I...
Sinners are sinners.
Yeah, like, we went to do a double feature. We saw The Accountant and we saw Sinners. And I had already seen Sinners. So in my brain, I'm just like, yeah, I get to watch Sinners again. Which was just unfortunate for The Accountant 2 because I was actually really excited for that until I realized I'm watching it on the same day as Sinners and couldn't be excited for two things at once.
You did still, pay for it and watch it. So you did the thing.
Yeah, I did my thing. You're welcome, Gavin. So yeah, as I said, we both like the movie. It is good. The first one to me is better, but the one thing I think this one does for me more is the brother time with Christian and Braxton, Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. That's honestly all I want. This movie could have just been Ben Affleck and John Bernthal hanging out and having some brotherly bonding, and I'd still be happy because all my favorite scenes have John Bernthal in them.
Yeah, I'm gonna preface this first by saying I do not know enough about autism to discuss the representation of autism in these movies. I'm sure that it is not accurate, and I'm sure it's probably problematic, but I will leave that to the actual people in the community to discuss.
In fact, by the end of next month, I am getting tested for autism, so we'll see how that goes.
Ooh.
Well, we'll find out. But they are doing the autism as a superpower thing, just as a heads up for anybody who might not like that trope. It is a very common one. I do enjoy watching Ben Affleck play this part. I have no idea if it's... Yeah, I love his performance. I have no idea if it's accurate to actual autism. So that's why I'm prefacing with that. I have no idea. I just like watching him play this role. I think he's very good at what he's doing with this character and makes Christian a very engaging character at that. Also, this might be my favorite John Bernthal character. This might be my favorite thing to watch him in.
He's so
outside
much fun
of
in this.
the Punisher, but I like how less gruff he is, but he's just as like hardcore, but also there's just like this,
Yeah.
like it's undercut by how wholesome, like how much he wants to have his brother in his life and how humorous he is, and I really, really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like there is a scene that might go a little too long. His introduction scene might go a little too
it
long,
does
but
a little bit.
I would watch that for hours.
I loved it. And like, so Kayla and I are the two people who I think like The Accountant, the first one, the most. Like when that movie came out, we were like, this
Gabby
is so good.
likes it a lot.
Gabby likes it a lot, yes. And then we were both very excited. So when they're doing the like, oh, I know someone, we're like, yes, give us John Bernthal. And the shot they give him of him like with the shades looking off to the side with a lollipop, I'm like, they know what they're doing. That intro scene, like Demi said, it goes on a little long, but it's so much fun. And he's clearly having fun with it. Yeah, just like the relationship that they have is so compelling. And I do. So about the representation thing, I also don't know a whole lot about the autism spectrum. But without giving too much away, the way I think of this movie is like, some franchises like John Wick and Fast and Furious will start relatively grounded and then kind of start going wild with sequels.
Yes.
This movie feels like it's doing that with autism, and I don't love that. It's like the first one, I was like, okay, I don't know how accurate this is, but nothing seems egregious or outlandish. And then this one, it's really just like one or two scenes that I'm like, all right, guys, what are we doing here? But I will say on the other side of that, they'll have like these heartfelt moments. Like there's one when they're talking on top of the Airstream, and they have a strained relationship for lots of reasons, not solely because Ben Affleck's character is autistic. Their dad raised them like he was trying to make them Batman. They had a deadbeat mom. It's a whole thing. But like Braxton struggles with the way Ben Affleck kind of like he's like, do you miss me? Like the way you show affection or don't is like, is it because of me or does it have to do with your condition? And he doesn't really understand him because they haven't really been together enough. And I'm like, that feels like a nice heartfelt moment where you didn't have to be like, autistic kids can hack every machine. It's just like, let's do it more like this. I like this. This is nice.
To be
But
fair,
that's
according to certain members of the federal government, people with autism will never. Ironically, one of the things mentioned was due taxes.
I will say that it was very interesting watching this movie after such a quote was made by our government. I was like, that's all right. Here's an action movie with an autistic lead. Clearly, he's not having a problem.
But yeah, I could sing the praises.
Well, an autistic lead character, not lead actor.
Right, not lead actor. But yeah, big praise for John Bernthal and Ben Affleck in their performances. Also, Cynthia Dye Robinson is in this one more, and she's great. I'm glad we still got her.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Cynthia Dye Robinson, so I think it's really cool to see her in like a big blockbuster film or like more like not a mid blockbuster film, but you know what I mean. Like it's a smaller blockbuster,
right?
Film
Not mid like
blockbuster
mid
films.
quality, mid level.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because I love watching her on like the Lord of the Rings TV series and a few other things. I've always been a really big fan of hers, so I really like seeing her get to act against like Ben Affleck and John Bernthal, who are big names in my head.
Yeah.
Also, really funny to see Daredevil and Punisher in a movie together playing brothers.
Yeah, and it's funny because the first one came out in 2016, so there's a point for the end of that one where they kind of like have a conflict, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Batman versus Punisher. But yeah, good stuff. I recommend if you like action movies and John Bernthal.
Yeah, it's got a solid story. I don't think it's like anything out of the ordinary for an action film. The action scenes are good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a solid action movie. If you really just like watching action movies, then you'll probably really enjoy it.
Yes.
It's also really funny. I think it's a lot funnier than the first movie.
It is, and I think that's due in large part to us getting more of Braxton, who is John Bernthal's character. He brings a lot of the comedy and like the other characters' reactions to him. Because Cynthia Dye Robinson is just so tired of them.
And I can't blame her.
Not at all. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, fun stuff.
Speaking of people doing sinful things.
Yes, the moment we've all been waiting for. Sinners.
We know that this review is late. We're sorry.
We are sorry. It happens. You will get over it. Sinners. It is written and directed by Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler. You know Ryan Coogler. He made Fruitvale Station. He made Creed. He made Black Panther 1 and 2. He made Sinners. And I'm so glad he did. Movie stars.
That man ain't never missed.
He ain't never missed.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Movie stars. Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Miles Cadden, Jack O'Connell, Wunmi Masaku, Jamie Lawson, Omar Miller, and the great Delroy Lindo. Let me make sure the summary doesn't spoil everything. All right, cool. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. What is that greater evil? The whites. That part's not in the IMDb summary. I just said it.
Okay, I just wanna start us off with a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be vague about this, obviously, just for spoilers. How much of this movie revolves around eating pussy?
A surprising amount.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
good
that's what I've
amount.
heard.
Way more than you would think.
Awesome. Love it.
That's what we meant by make movies horny again. Okay, so beyond that, beyond just getting your tens for making movies horny again, this is. I know the movie's not. I know that the year is not over yet, but this is already one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year.
100%. I don't expect it to be knocked out on my number one spot. You know, we still got some time in the year, but
It's a possibility for me just because Wicked exists and I have such an attachment to Wicked. But right. Right? This is the first movie that I've seen all year that I was like, oh no, I'm in love with this movie. Like, I'm obsessed. I just want to watch this over and over and over again and understand everything.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like, I don't often hyperfixate, but Sinners, man, my brain is just running on Sinners right now.
As it should. When I talk about like, man, this is what filmmaking should be, like, I feel like what I'm trying to say is that, like, yeah, this is a blockbuster movie, but never at any point do I feel like it's some like studio handled, organized, clean thing. It feels like I'm actually getting to witness Ryan Coogler's brain at work and watching him work through whatever thoughts are going through his head through this story.
Yeah. And just, I've watched, so many interviews and clips and listened to podcasts that he's been on, and just like hearing him talk about it enhances it so much. Like the way he talks about how every hood has a set of twins and how he's interacted with the ones in his life and how they had like twin consultants on the movie. And it's just like he puts so much work and care into every bit of this. And so does everybody, like all the actors. I think Ruthie Carter did the wardrobe.
She did.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And she killed it. Ludwig Göransson, that's a bad white boy.
That is a bad white boy. I saw a review on Letterboxd for this movie that said, paraphrasing, like, I saw the movie and I thought, give Ruthie Carter another Oscar.
Yeah.
And then I saw the post-credit scene and I thought, give her the Nobel Peace Prize.
I'm with it.
That's amazing. No, everybody, like, I feel this way about every Ryan Coogler movie that I've ever seen, which is just like every department is putting their all into what they're doing. And like a lot of the reason why a lot of people give like directors the most credit is because it starts at the top, right? Like it starts off as that brainchild, and then like from there you delegate to the best people you can possibly find.
Right.
And Ryan Coogler always finds the best people for the job for his movies. So like, yeah, he's the best person for the job for directing, but then Ruthie Carter, best person for the job for costuming, Ludwig Göransson, the best person for the job for like music.
Exactly.
Every other head of department just is so good at what they're doing, and you can see it, like, it's very evident on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think also like one thing that like sticks out to me is that nowadays you can see a lot of movies that like look good, right? Like just on a visual level, you can go see any blockbuster movie and like for the most part, like, yeah, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look nice and clean. They shot it on a nice camera. The lighting's probably, for the most part, probably gonna be good.
Right.
For the most part, you're at least going to see a movie that aesthetically it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have movies like Sinners, which is like the look is unique. It doesn't look like any other movie that's out right now.
Right.
And on top of that, there's a great story to go along with it. You can watch a movie that looks aesthetically good but doesn't have a good story, but this has it all.
It really does. The story, the characters. Also, audience, for those who don't know, Demi does not like horror movies. So like hearing all this praise.
But I do love vampires.
Yeah, like, and this isn't just like, people will take anything that has vampires in it and be like, oh, it's horror this, it's horror that. Like, this is a horror movie, especially
there's a decent amount of blood going on
the
in here.
way they handle the vampires. And honestly, the vampires don't show up for a while. Like, a lot of it is character introductions and world building, and all of that was super compelling too.
I love the first act, I guess you would say, just like the setup. It feels so much like a Southern slow burn.
Yeah.
Like, this movie feels Southern. It doesn't just look it, it feels it. And I can't explain what that means. I can just say that I've been to Louisiana and I know that that's what that slowness feels like.
Yeah. And I think it helps to have Ludwig, who understands music and blues in such a way that it really adds to the atmosphere and everything like that. Like, the way they introduce these characters. Delroy Lindo is an old drunk harmonica player, but the way they
He's so
introduce his character, he might as well be Bass Reeves again from Harder They Fall. Like, he gets this like harmonica hero shot when they first show him. I'm just like, that's freaking Delroy Lindo. He's great. Everybody's great. The way they introduce what I can only describe as light-skinned Haley Steinfeld for the first time. What a scene.
They just introduced Haley Steinfeld. That's just, she has the same racial makeup.
So like, she does, but like, this is light-skinned Haley Steinfeld. The way she talked.
Haley got in touch with her multiracial background. She realized who she was, and it came out.
I didn't know how much I needed Southern Haley Steinfeld. Like, the line delivery.
I loved it
I'm just
so
like,
much.
Gwen Stacy, is that you? Like, it's just.
Haley Steinfeld ain't never missed it either. I've never seen that girl miss.
And she's saying things that made me clutch my pearls that I wasn't wearing. Just like, Haley, what do you mean? Why would you say these things on a train platform in front of everybody?
Oh, why would you say these things in a juke joint where everybody can hear you?
But yeah, everybody's so good. Michael B. Jordan plays twins, and he plays them in a way that they feel like two completely different characters, because they are. But it's just like, even the way he carries himself in each scene, like, you know which one you're dealing with. And it's not just like, oh, this is the fun one and this is the serious one. It's like, it's that, but times 10. Like, this is the serious one, and he is no nonsense. When he thinks something's going down, so I started blasting. Bang, bang, bang. Like,
I think this might be Michael B. Jordan's best performance that he's ever given in anything.
I agree.
That's a lot for me to say, because Killmonger for the longest time has been, no, this is Michael B. Jordan's best role. But I think this is Ryan Coogler's magnum opus, and I think this is also Michael B. Jordan's magnum opus.
Yeah, and I saw, can't remember what I was listening to or who I was talking to or whatever, but they talked about how, like, this is his, like, all the movies that he makes are hits, but Black Panther is an adaptation of a Marvel character that goes back, like, at this point, 60 years. Creed is like built on this decades-long franchise of Rocky. Fruitvale Station is a true story.
Based on a true story.
Yeah. So like, this is his story. These are his characters. Like, this is Ryan Coogler. Like you said, it's opus. Like, this is his thing. And knowing now how much he connects to like blues, and I'm just so happy for him. I'm just so happy for him.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for me because I get to watch it.
I've been waiting for Ryan Coogler to actually get to do something like this where it's just fully his own thing. Like, sure, Fruitvale Station is like his own thing, but like you said, it's based on a true story.
Right.
This is fully his own thing, and it's a beautiful thing. And also, like, there are just so many things in this movie that, like, and I wrote it in my Letterboxd review, but things that I just, like, I would love to deep dive more into the movie to figure out more of his thoughts on them. Just like, one of the things that stuck out to me is how much this movie is about, like, the building of community within the Black community, and like the joy that comes with being within that community, and also the way that we invite other people of color into that community and welcome them into it.
I love that.
But there's also like a number of other like nuanced things that go into that. There's also like, the idea of like being mixed and the identity of being Black, because Haley Steinfeld's character is a recent descendant of a Black person, but is, in this day and age, she would be considered white. Back then, she would be seen as Black if anybody found out about her one drop.
Right.
And just how she's viewed in that society, and how much of a pariah that kind of makes her, even if she wants to be so involved in Black culture, because she in that time would be Black. Even if white people could see her and be like, oh, she's white, which kind of adds to her and Stack's whole relationship. Also, I would watch so many movies about the misadventures of Stack and Mary.
There's so many movies in this movie that I would watch.
There are so many. They would be so much fun, including the vampire hunting Choctaw.
Right. Like, I'd watch that movie. I'd watch a prequel about Smoking Stack in Chicago. Like,
I'd watch a prequel about Smoking Annie. It would be sad, but I would watch it.
It would be sad. It would be sad.
Also, speaking of Annie, shout out to Wunmi Musaku,
yes,
who is amazing in this movie. I've been a fan of her since Lovecraft Country. I think both of us can agree on that. We were both really big fans of that show, and we have a review for it. And she's one of the few things that I really, really enjoyed about the TV series Loki. And she is phenomenal in this movie, as I knew she would be. She's amazing, and she's such a, like, she plays like kind of the heart of this movie really well, like the anchor character, I would say. Also, I appreciate how smart her character is. Yes. Instead of doing really dumb stuff, like off jump, she's always like, no, this is what's happening. No, and, this is what's happening. We need to do this.
And she stops other characters from doing dumb stuff too. Like,
and I love it so
quickly
much.
Clocks the situation. She's like, don't let them in here.
No. We're not doing this. But also, shout out to Wunmi Musaku, who also greeted our showing when we went to go see it.
That was so great.
It was so awesome. We went to go see it in 70 millimeter at City Walk, and she greeted the showing before the movie started. And it was so cool, as somebody who is such a big fan of hers. I was like,
yeah, that was awesome.
From the moment that happened, I was like, oh, this is about to be such a great just movie experience.
It is.
There are scenes that everybody is talking about. The dance scene, they're right.
Oh my God. We didn't talk about the music.
They're so right.
It's so good.
Oh my
Everything, yeah. So like, you've heard countless people, I'm sure by now, talk about how good that scene is. Just know that no description of it will do it justice. You have to see it for yourself.
So I consistently, whenever I go into musicals, I have this thing where I try not to listen to the soundtrack before I actually go see the movie, because I want to experience the music for the first time in the movie.
Right.
Never in my life have I been so happy to have stayed away from a soundtrack before I got to see the movie, because I'm a week late. Because had I had that spoiled for me through just the audio, I would have been upset.
And it would be very confusing. Like, hearing that without the context of the scene would be like, Ludwig, what are you doing, man? But like, seeing it,
this isn't the right movie for that.
Yeah, like, what's happening? But yeah, I also held off because I love the experience of, like you said, like hearing music for the first time in the context of the movie it's from. And man, the soundtrack slaps. And speaking of the soundtrack, Miles, he's so good.
So good. This is such a great intro, like a first movie for somebody.
Like, what an intro, like from an acting and singing perspective, because he's singing, he's playing music, he's acting, and he's killing it in all of them. He has a voice that is distractingly deep, because like he's like, oh, this is the little cousin. I'm like, okay, what's it gonna sound like? He's like, hey man, I'm the little cousin. Like, whoa. Sound like Black Bolt. But it's perfect for his character.
Listen, if he wants to play Miles Morales, let him play Miles Morales. Before we move on, because we need to move on, we are over time. There are a couple of other messages from the movie that I really liked, that I like and would really like to further explore by watching the movie more. Because I'm sure that I missed a lot. I've only seen it once. But like, I love the topic of like the power of artistic gifts and how we choose to use those gifts and how we platform ourselves in the world with them. The formation of culture and how what was past influences the future and the present.
Right.
I also really liked the search for community through death and destruction and shared trauma, which is, typically a vampire thing in general. But I think it applies more than just to vampires in this movie. I think it's also kind of like a racial thing as well.
Yeah.
And then my last one is never forget, ladies and gentlemen, because Ryan Coogler certainly didn't. Vampires might be monsters, but the KKK and races like them are bigger monsters.
100%. They are the real evil. But yeah, rapid fire shout outs. Jack O'Connell. I had never seen him before to my knowledge. I know a lot of people have.
He was so good on Skins, and I'm English so happy.
And he kills it in this. He's fantastic. Like, obviously, I'm not going to root for the vampire in the vampire movie, but he made some points. There's a couple times when I was like, okay, Remick. Also, that river dance was clean as hell.
He apparently is trained and has been since he was 5 or 6, and that wasn't part of his audition.
Yeah, I started reading. Like he is Irish. Like he considers himself Irish, I think, because his dad is Irish, and like he was.
Yeah, he said his dad taught him.
Yeah, he was doing Irish dance growing up. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, he
got the
just had
perfect
it in
person
his
for this.
back pocket. He was waiting.
Yeah, he's great. Jamie Lawson, fantastic, playing
I love Demi Lawson.
her character's a little hussy,
Perline.
but we love her. You know,
Everybody's a little hussy in this movie.
people in the 30s was hussies. It happens. It happens a lot.
I heard
You
the
gotta-
music from back then.
Omar Miller doesn't have as much screen time, but this time he has is well used. He's great. And I think we've shouted out everybody else in the movie that's part of the main cast.
Yes, I do want to shout out Autumn Durald Arkapaw, who's the cinematographer on this movie. She also was the cinematographer on Wakanda Forever, just because she does a phenomenal job with this movie. Cinematography is gorgeous, so beautiful. I'm really glad that the IMAX aspect ratio will be brought over onto the Blu-ray edition of the film, because
Nice.
I just know that experience will be different if it doesn't have that. And also, she is the first woman ever to film on the IMAX format. So congrats to her.
Yeah. Shout out to her. If we had an applause button, we would press it, but we're not. We're not there. So just know we're clapping for you.
All right, guys, that takes us to 10-minute takes with Cassie.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
So, I watched 10 minutes of a thing as picked by Dallas. Technically picked by a random number generator, but everything in the list was picked by Dallas, as we do.
Yeah.
And this time, it was 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of the first episode of Samurai Jack, because that's what spun on the
Ooh,
wheel,
interesting.
so to speak. Yeah, I guess Aku is revived by an eclipse or something. Not really sure why that works for him, but it does. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna conquer the world because that's what I do, I guess. And Jack's dad, I guess, is telling him this story about like, yeah, I fought him before and I had a magic sword and it was kind of bitching. Then I turned him into a tree. But now he back. Jack's dad is probably dead, not sure. But his mom is like, yo, we need to go. I'm gonna take you to some vaguely Arabian place. You know. You go hang out there and learn how to ride a horse. And then from there you're gonna go to Africa and learn how to fight with a staff and stuff. And then from there you're gonna go to Greece. And that's where the 10 minutes stopped. So I assume he's just going around learning things, fighting people. Presumably he'll get the magic sword. And apparently I think there's time travel at some point, you told me, but that didn't happen. So
It's very funny. That time travel is the main plot of the TV show.
see, that's the thing, is like I remember that. I was like, yeah, I think this is about time travel. And then we just didn't get there yet. But
yeah, the inciting incident of the show is at the end of that episode. He time travels. The rest of the show takes place in the future.
why?
You didn't get any of that.
I just saw a kid training to fight, which makes sense, right? You train up to fight, and then you when you're old enough, you take the sword and you kill Aku, and you're fine. But apparently, there's some time travel. So look at that.
There is some time travel. That's very funny.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of the training montage?
I mean, it's a training montage.
Yeah.
It worked. You know, I got the point, right? Like, once it was like, hey, you train with them for a while, and they drop you off somewhere else, and then you train with them for a while, and they drop you off somewhere else because, I don't know, your mom doesn't love you, doesn't want to hang out with you. I really don't know what that's about.
I mean, sometimes you don't want to hang out with
your
your
grandma, not your mom, your grandma. But yeah.
yeah, she's tired. You don't want to hang out with a little ninja baby.
He
Seems Africans.
like he would have been perfectly reasonable, well behaved, all that. But she was like, nah, go on this ship. I'm out.
I would do the same thing.
Well, yeah, but you have particular opinions on children. And maybe she does too, but
yeah, she might. She might never wanted that kid in the first place, let alone the grandkid.
Jesus.
I don't know. I'm projecting. I don't know about Grandma.
I can tell that
Grandma
you are.
Jack or Grandma Samurai, whatever.
Yeah. Samurai Jack.
Cool.
Yeah.
These 10 minutes are just...
It's so fun. That's why I like it.
They always cut off right before.
That's why we do them.
Because I was sitting there going, like, okay, there's time travel. I remember that, but I don't know when or how that works. And I don't know. I'll never.
You didn't get an alien. You didn't get a robot. None of
Nope.
that.
Because I remember I've seen like half of an episode of Samurai Jack on a plane. Like it was about to land. It was just like I need to put something on. So it was like I think they had like a streaming thing or something, or like so it was just it came in partway through, and he's doing something. There's a DJ and there's the Scotsman, and
Yeah.
that's like completely different from what I.
It's such a fun show. You didn't see any of that show.
Nope.
Good times. Glad you
Yeah.
saw it. Glad you saw some of it. Glad you saw him train.
Dallas, do you ever what you've been watching?
Nah, I
doing
saw
or
the
whatever?
amount, the trailers, and I was like, not this week.
Sure. My God.
I'm gonna do one and just make it really quick. Because the reason why we've been not recording is because I went to Japan for a week.
Hey.
So I've been gone, and nothing gets done on this podcast without me being around. So sorry.
Nope, we won't do it.
No, we won't.
We will take that vacation.
I went to Japan because Star Wars is a thing that will apparently take me to other countries, continents, whatever. If I feel like I want to for Star Wars, I will. So I went to Star Wars Celebration, which was really, really awesome. Went to a lot of really cool panels. I got to see the first footage of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that is coming out next year. Super
Nice.
excited for that. I got to watch the first episode of Andor before that came out last week. I got to sit in on the Ahsoka panel, which is nice because the show came out during the writer and actor strike, which meant that they couldn't talk about it
Right.
when the
yeah.
show was out. So I did get to sit in a panel with Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Rosario Dawson, and Hayden Christensen, and they talked about the first season of Ahsoka, and they talked about things that we can expect from season 2 of Ahsoka, which I'm super excited for. They just started filming this week. And I went to a panel of Doug Chang talking about how they created a lot of the concept art for Skeleton Crew, which is a show that just came out recently, the most recent Star Wars show. And I also got to go to a panel of literally my favorite podcast, which is What the Force. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I spent a lot of time working on this one. So What the Force podcast is legitimately like my favorite podcast, and they go through Star Wars and just a lot of Lucasfilm stuff in general. And they look at it through like Joseph Campbell storytelling methods, through archetypes and tropes and ways that we've told stories throughout centuries, millennia, stuff like that. And it's been great. I love that podcast, and I got to meet the host of the podcast and tell her how much that podcast has impacted me.
Nice.
And it was really, really cool. Also got some really cool swag, bought a lot of stuff. Went to Disneyland in Tokyo, which was a dream of mine to just go to Disneyland in a different country. So I got to knock that off my bucket list. I went to a Buddhist temple in a city called Nagano.
Okay.
I went to the Zenkoji temple, which was really nice and very peaceful. And I got to see some pretty dope like landmarks that a lot of people go to in like Tokyo. So I went to like the Shibuya crossing and Akihabara Electric Town, I believe it's called, which is where all the nerds go. Had to do that.
Gotta do it.
Got ramen all the time. Got some sushi.
Love that for
I
you.
saw a life-size Gundam because I don't know anything about Gundam, but my little brother is a huge fan, so I went to go see the life-size one just on his behalf.
Nice.
So-
Very nice.
Yeah. I had a really dope trip to Japan. I'm extremely exhausted. I'm still jet lagged, and I pushed my body to its physical limits just about every day that I was there. But I had a great time. It was really cool. It was my first overseas trip. It was really interesting. But that's why we've been gone for so long. So, yeah.
And now we're back.
Now we're back. And because we were gone for so long, we have a bunch of trailers that we have to go through. So let's do this.
Oh, boy. Okay. Fantastic Four. First steps. We got a trailer.
I want to start this off by saying when they announced the name of this movie, and I said it on the podcast, I don't remember which episode it was, but I did point out that First Steps usually has to do with space, which of course, Fantastic Four, their whole shtick is that they got their powers from space. But I also pointed out that First Steps is also a thing that has to do with children. And what does this trailer reveal to us? Susan Storm is pregnant.
I also love the way that they did it. Because it was just so like simple and silly. Like, oh, you're late. What do you mean? What do you mean? You're late for dinner.
Yeah.
Are you
I love that
pregnant?
Johnny doesn't catch it.
That was great. And then just the excitement of like him jumping up. Like, we're going to be the best uncles.
I'm so excited for this movie. Now, it's funny. It took a while for this movie to build excitement for me. I have liked 2.5 Fantastic Four movies.
Fair assessment.
And yeah, I'm excited about this one. I'm really glad that this one feels different from the other ones that we've had so far. And I look forward to seeing what Matt Shackman did with it. He's really good with the retro futuristic aesthetic, the retro aesthetic in general, as we saw with WandaVision. And the story just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I've been pretty excited for this for a while. I am so happy to see my girl Julia Garner silvered up. I'm so happy that she's in so much stuff this year. We'll get back to that. But yeah, no Galactus, right, in this trailer?
No, there is.
Kind
you
of.
get a shadow and you get a footstep.
So when I
Yeah.
saw the footstep, Galactus feels too big to step on the street.
I think that he has the ability to change his size in the comics.
Yeah, so Kayla was like, maybe he can change his size. And I was like, that sounds like a comic book thing that they would do. Well, you got to be able to interact with him somehow. So I could see that. But yeah, because I was like, oh, snap, is that Galactus? I'm like, wait, he can't just be walking down the
Because by
street.
that same
He's
token,
planets.
that shadow would have been too small if...
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he could probably change his shape. Come down and kick it with the homies.
At the very least, his size. It looks really good. I like the aesthetic. And it just looks like a fun story. A lot of people are thinking that the Fantastic Four are going to fail in this movie.
That's
I mean,
my
hey.
thought. They're going to lose and be like, well, New York is dead. Guess we got to jump to a new universe. Bye.
Yeah.
I thought this. Here's the thing. I thought the same thing about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania, and no. So I feel
Yeah.
like they could still win, and Marvel will find a way to still make it work for
They probably should have
Doomsday
failed.
to happen.
Having- Can't get beat by
I mean,
some
they
ants
should
was a
have
choice.
failed in Quantum Mania. Yeah, for sure. It would have made that
Ants,
story
yeah.
better, but they didn't. I don't know if Marvel's willing to let their heroes lose. At least not in the first movie.
Yeah, I don't know. But like Cassie said, it might be like, oh, we got to find another Earth. He ate this one.
They did lose in Civil War, but I can't think of any other Marvel property where they've lost.
It was for a bit in Endgame. I mean, Infinity War.
Oh, and Infinity War. Yeah, duh. Civil War, Infinity War.
The wars. If it got war in the title,
Yeah.
maybe somebody lose.
No war in this title.
Nah. Fantastic War.
It is a really crazy time for Pedro Pascal. I've said this to you already, Dallas, but it was so funny because the Fantastic Four trailer released while I was in Japan, literally the morning before I went to the Mandalorian and Grogu panel. And before the panel started, somebody I was talking to was like, oh, what if Pedro Pascal is here? And I was like, that would be crazy because the Fantastic Four trailer just dropped. And then I think literally that weekend or like the weekend after, we had the crazy moment on The Last of Us, which I will not spoil for anybody who knows nothing about The Last of Us and has not seen that episode yet, but I hope that you're caught up. But he had a crazy weekend.
The jokes I want to make
I
in
was
camp
waiting
for
for
spoiler
that
purposes.
one.
But yeah, he's
I'm
been
so happy.
busy.
I didn't think it was going to happen so early.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, motherfuckers. But yeah, Pedro Pascal, I saw a joke, a meme going around where they were like, why is Galactus coming to destroy our planet? And they were like, Silver Surfer's like, yeah, because Pedro Pascal's in everything and he's tired of seeing him everywhere.
Sick of this nigga.
Silly memes.
Yeah, love memes. Happy for Pedro. Get that money. Get that bag.
We do love seeing Pedro everywhere. He's such a good actor. So
Indeed.
next one.
Next one. Going to the other superhero universe, we have a behind the scenes video of Superman. The Superman.
the Superman Day video.
Yeah. I say Superman and I feel like I should be saying a subtitle, but there isn't one. So I just Superman.
No, it is Superman.
Superman. But yeah, lots of people in it. Looks cool.
I'm very excited. His suit also looks so cool in this behind the scenes look. Like that cape is a main actor all on its own. Yeah, I also really appreciate, I think most about this video is like how much of this is practical, it seems. Like obviously this is going to be a very CGI heavy movie. It's freaking Superman of all people.
Right.
Like you have to have a lot of CGI. But I like that so many of the sets are practical. Like that's a real Daily Planet. The scenes at the Fortress of Solitude, you could have easily been like, you know what, we're going to CGI the Arctic because why would we go to the Arctic? But no, they went to an actual snow-laden landscape and shot actual stuff out there. David Cornsweet is out there laying in the snow. God bless him, because that seems horrible.
His ass beat.
You see Metamorpho, and Metamorpho is like a practical like suit prosthetic.
That was cool. I did like seeing him.
And then there's also there was another set or another character that I was really excited to see was practical. But yeah, so much of this just looks practical, and I'm really happy about that, because I feel like a lot of superhero movies have turned to just doing a lot of CGI stuff because they want to hide what's being filmed. They don't want to give any spoilers out by having their actors out in actual, practical locations. And I'm like, I don't really care about that. I'd much rather have a movie that feels tactile and real than to have everything be CGI because you want to keep a secret from me.
Yeah, I get that. I'm
excited. I'm super excited about this movie. I have a good feeling that this is going to end up in my top 10 for the year, because I feel the same way about this movie as I did about the Batman in the lead up to that movie.
Yeah, because this feels like a movie you would like.
I finished The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel before the behind the scenes footage came out, and just, man, when I tell you guys Rachel Brosnahan is going to be like a perfect Lois Lane, it's crazy. Oh, the other thing I was really excited to see was practical. The robot from The Fortress. That was crazy. I thought that was a CGI robot. That is a real thing. They built a robot. That's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes you got to build a robot.
Sometimes you do have to build a robot, and I appreciate the fact that they did, because it looks amazing.
A lot of robots. Fantastic Four got a robot. Superman got a robot.
Andor is about to have a robot, because an Alan Tudyk robot, as a matter of fact, because he's going to be in Andor season 2 as K2SO again. But yes, speaking of robots.
Speaking of movies with robots and aliens, Predator Badlands. Shake them dreads.
I forgot to watch that trailer.
Ooh. Well, there's a predator in it.
Because it's cool, and also it very firmly establishes that this takes place in the same universe as the recent Alien movies, which is wild. Surprise, bitch.
I'm willing to pause this so that I can watch the trailer.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, luckily that trailer was extremely short, so I'm back and I've watched it. Wow.
Welcome back.
It looks like they gave Dan Trachtenberg so much money for this one.
And I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It do.
It looks amazing. I really, really like the look of it. Especially because this is the first Predator movie that's going to take place on, like, the Predator home planet, I think.
At least part of it?
What planet are they on in Predators?
I ain't never seen that movie.
Oh, well, that one takes place on a planet. I don't know if it's their home planet, but I don't remember.
I think the only Predator movies I've seen are Predator, aka the first one, The Predator, which was the one that came out 2016, the one with Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah, and Sterling K. Brown.
And Prey.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, this looks dope. Which fanning is this? Is this Elle?
Elle.
I think so.
Yeah, she's got the whaling thingy in the eye.
The proprietary eyes. I think it's smart that they have her in this, because this is the one that's like the Predator is the protagonist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, though, if a lot of this focus ends up on the white girl, I'm gonna be mad. That's not what I'm coming to this movie for.
I don't think a lot of it will. Sorry, what'd you say?
I'm coming to this movie for the nigga with the mouth flaps and the dreads. Like, that's what I'm here for.
We know what you're here for. The monster fucker is here for the monster.
I didn't even mean it like that. I'm just saying, if you tell me this is a Predator movie,
it's what it sounded like you meant it.
It did sound like that. You said you're here for the nigga with the mouth flaps.
Just because it's a very
That's what it sounded like.
feature. Like, if you think about Predators, what is like one of the first things you think of? That or the dreads, probably.
Dreads. I think it's dreadlocks.
To be fair, I don't know if there won't be other niggas with locks.
There will be. I think there were multiple in that trailer.
Which, like, has anyone ever talked about how that kind of feels a little...
What, racist?
Yeah.
I'm sure people have.
Yeah, the whole tribal thing, and then the dreads and the little... Wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger shooting a bunch of niggas with dreadlocks.
It's the apex predator, the alpha.
Yeah, you know. That's what they call us.
We're not going to get into all that. We don't have time to unpack all of that.
I was just going to say that when you have a character who speaks like, then it makes sense that you bring in this white girl who can speak English to the audience.
Oh, because you can't just use subtitles. Come on now. What is it? If Americans could get over the 1 inch tall barrier of subtitles,
It's not the same thing. This is not a Korean family living in a basement.
This is what Bong Joon-ho was talking about.
No, it's not. He wasn't talking about mouth flaps. He was talking about humans.
Anyway, one of our friends has a theory that the Predator will be fighting an alien at the end of this movie. So it could also be the reason why she is in this movie.
I feel like they won't go that far this fast. But I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? All right. I'm sorry for this transition in advance. Speaking of black people being apex predators, we have a movie called Him, which is a
Oh, I was like,
football
what?
horror movie.
It's like, how did we get here?
love this. Feels like Black Swan or The Perfection, but it's football this time, and I love it.
It does feel very Black Swan football. Which
Is that the type of movie that this is? Because I only saw like the tail end of that trailer because it played in front of both The Accountant 2 and Sinners.
That was the
Yeah.
sense that I got, because there's a lot of talk in it about like, you gotta put everything you got into this.
Be the best.
Be the
Yeah.
best. Like,
Are
you
you
gotta
willing to
give up
sacrifice?
everything. Are you going to give up everything? And it feels like that sort of pressure to be the best. Though this feels a little more like external
Whiplash.
pressure, as opposed to Black Swan was kind of, she wanted that, and this was a little more like people are telling him, you gotta be the best.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this. It looks super strange.
Yeah.
And because it honestly doesn't look that far off from what a lot of people say it is to be a football player, just like that level of pressure. And, you know, CTE might be the actual monster in this, we find out. Like when they have that shot of them like
Yeah.
going helmet to helmet and it goes, I'm like, oh,
Yup.
CTE is the demon.
Jiggling brains.
Yeah. But maybe it'll make people stop letting their kids play tackle football. I think that would be
It
great.
won't.
It won't.
Maybe
won't.
not. I am a huge fan of A-type personality perfectionist movies because I find them fascinating. I cannot explain it. So who knows? Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. I don't know yet.
Have you watched The Perfection? It's very gross, but
Did
it is
not.
good.
I've seen scenes from The Perfection.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it all the way through because it was gross.
I was gonna, and then I didn't,
very
'cause
gross.
gross. Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing
But I did watch Black Swan, which is a movie that I happen to adore and I own it, but I have only ever seen it once because it is also gross at times.
Yeah, I watched it again a few months ago. It holds up. It's still gross. That finger
I bet
scene.
it does. Yeah, see,
That's wrong.
I can't do it again. It's
Darren, you're
it's
nasty
a lot.
for that
It's
one.
a lot for me.
When you say finger
Ugh.
scene,
Not like sex. when
she,
she
like,
does
pulls
the
a hangnail.
hangnail and then
oh, that scene. Yeah, I hate that scene.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much for me.
No, if she wants to finger bang Mila Kunis, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I do enjoy this genre of movie
Mhm.
for some weird reason. I don't know if it's because I relate to the desperate need of succeeding in life, but not to the point of being that crazy. I just am fascinated
You said
by
it.
being that driven to it.
Right.
Not that. I'm not there yet. I'm not that desperate to be that, but I do find it to be an interesting character study.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. Couple things.
Also, Marlon Wayans doing drama sounds amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he's gonna kill it in this. I'm just screaming at that boy. Couple things. Jordan Peele did not direct this movie. That's what
Yeah.
everybody knows.
I thought he did until I saw the end of the trailer.
Yeah, so like the marketing is going heavy on his name.
Yeah,
He's a
and I
producer.
get that. I do. But like when I was looking for the trailer, I saw like him trailer Jordan Peele, and I'm like, but he didn't direct this.
A lot
like,
of people are like, new Jordan Peele movie, new Jordan Peele movie. It is directed by Justin Tipping, not Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is a producer. It has a very Jordan Peele energy, so I understand. Just so everybody knows, let's give credit to the person who actually made the movie. Also,
Don't want another Nightmare Before Christmas situation.
right,
Mhm.
Demi, did you recognize the main character, light-skinned dude?
He looked familiar and I could not place him.
So do you remember the episode of Atlanta where the black dude comes to college and he says, I'm paying for everybody's college who is black?
Is he the passing one?
Yes, he's the main character of that episode.
Yeah.
I
that
saw
makes
him.
sense.
I was like, oh, snap. It's the light-skinned boy from Atlanta. But yeah,
That's hilarious.
good to see him in something very, very... Also, in another world, this could be an Atlanta episode. Like if it's like football meets Teddy Perkins energy. It's not too far off.
Michael Jackson's father.
See, like, oh yeah, a lot of football dads would probably be on Teddy Perkins' wall of dads.
A lot of sports dads in general.
But yeah, stop letting your kids play tackle football. It's bad for them, and it will shake up their brains. Don't let them do it. They're not gonna listen to me. Speaking of people who make scary things, The Life of Chuck. It's not a scary thing,
Yeah, this
but it's
is
made
a
by Mike Flanagan.
very weird one.
Guys, am I finally going to get to see a Mike Flanagan film?
I think
mean,
you
The
are.
answer is
Yeah.
yes.
But like, it's not gonna be the Mike Flanagan experience that Dallas and I are always hooting and hollering about.
I don't want that experience, so we're fine.
Though,
I
you
just want
might.
to experience.
I'm just saying. If you want another vampire story, hello. Do we have a good
You
one
wanna
for
see-
you?
I did see somebody comparing Sinners to Midnight Mass recently.
Both great vampire stories.
Yeah, but I'm just excited because I finally get to see a Mike Flanagan project, which also means that I get to see his wife in something.
Yes, you do.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Goddamn.
you do.
I just
so happy for you.
rewatched most of his shows with my friend, and oh my god, Kate Siegel.
I'm sorry, Cassie. Did you watch the Midnight Club?
You know I didn't. That's why I said
You
most,
disappoint
nigga.
me.
I live to disappoint.
Put it on the list.
It's on the
I watched
okay.
10 minutes of it.
and then just stopped. Whatever.
No, I'm telling Cassie to put it on the list of things to watch with her friends since they were just watching Mike
we're
Flanagan
past
stuff
the
in the
Mike
first
Flanagan
place.
stuff now, so we can't go back to it. That's the rule.
No, you can.
No,
you
we
absolutely
already
can.
did it. We already
you were
did
right
it. No,
there.
we already. Nope.
Anyway, about this thing, it seems very Amblin-esque, which I really appreciate. Very
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg. I love the look of it. Oh my gosh. From the moment you see that pink light coming through that like door and the way that it shines on him, on the kid and like the ground in front of him.
Mhm.
So pretty. And like the star scenes, like it all just looks so very pretty. So I'm very fascinated. I have no idea what this movie's about to be about, but I probably will go see it.
It feels like it's like I see Mike Flanagan direct, and I'm like, hell yeah. And then I watch the trailer, and I'm like, never mind. It just looks like a Steven Spielberg movie that comes out around Christmas, and that I don't really care about, but a lot of people love.
So I feel both of those things. I was like, oh, Mike Flanagan is making something based on a Stephen King story. I am there. I watched the trailer and I was like, not really my thing. It doesn't look like the kind of thing I'd be interested in. But it is a Mike Flanagan story. It is a Mike Flanagan cast. We have Kate Siegel. We have Jacob Tremblay, who's worked with him before. We have Mark
Also,
Hamill.
he's so grown now.
He is.
It
He
threw
is.
me off. I was like, no,
Wow.
Jacob, look at him.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch it based on the names alone, and we're
And
gonna
also
see what it is.
just other people who aren't typically people he works with. Tom Hiddleston is amazing. Karen Gillan is amazing.
Karen Gillan is a Mike Flanagan person.
Oh, is she?
Oculus.
Yeah, she was in his Spooky Mirror movie.
Decent movie.
In a what?
Spooky
His
Mirror
Spooky
movie.
Mirror movie.
There's a spooky
Oculus.
mirror, and it does spooky shit.
Oh, that's right. I always forget he did Oculus.
Yeah, she's one of the OGs because that was early.
Yeah. Girl was acting when she bit into that light bulb.
I've been saying for years that I want to watch a Mike Flanagan movie, so here we are. I finally got one. You guys already got all the rest of them. He had to make one for me, okay?
He didn't have
I'm gonna
to.
watch this one too.
I can
be
respect that he did, but like, Mike, please.
Let that man expand.
Mike, please be scary. Scare us.
Right? Give me another haunted house. I'm so game. Let's go.
Make us scared and sad.
Hey, Cassie, you have a whole Mike Flanagan show that you haven't watched yet. Why don't you try
That's
watching
true.
that first?
That's
Because
true.
I don't
I'm
want to
Team
fall
Demi.
in
Watch
love with
that.
it and then know that I'll never get more because it got canceled. The rest of his are one-offs. I can live with that.
Just pretend it's a one-off.
It's not. I know it's not.
It is
is
actually.
now.
It is a one-off.
It is now. Kids ain't coming back.
No.
Rip.
All right. Next one. Is there another one?
There's so
There's
many.
Yes. Getting back to spooky weapons. So Cassie did not watch all of this trailer.
All I know
for
is that
understandable
I
It's
didn't watch
got
this trailer at
Kids
all.
T-posing into the woods, and that's all I need to know. I'm so in. I saw Barbarian. It was weird.
Oh God! I saw the thumbnail for it. It came up on my YouTube recommendations.
Yeah, I
as
don't
part
think
of my
this is for you.
algorithm, and I immediately put not interested in this so that it would disappear off my algorithm. So I'm going to say now, for everybody watching this on YouTube, I am not editing this trailer at all. I'm dropping it into where it belongs in the timeline, and then I am moving on.
You're such a scaredy cat. It's adorable.
I mean, as far as I know,
am,
there's something wrong with the children movie, and I'm excited.
It's funny because the trailer's not really scary. Like
Oh.
it takes a turn toward the end. Like, oh, that kid looks scary.
Okay.
But it's a lot of what's going on? What's wrong with the kids?
Do you see
just-
more T-posing into the woods? Because that fucking killed me.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
But I will say I'm super excited for this. At the beginning of the year, I look at Wikipedia's like next year in movies list so I can make my most anticipated list for the next year. And this was on my list for 2026 because it was supposed to come out in January. They moved it up. Thank you for that. But I was like, Julia Garner, that's my girl. Shout out to her. She's back again. What's his name? Josh Brolin, Benedict Wong, Alden Ehrenreich. Fire ass cast. I don't know what it was about, but I was like, it's on the list. And it's like, oh, it's about children just sprinting full speed into the woods. Okay. But yeah,
Did you
it
see
does
Barbarian?
look like I did not see Barbarian.
It's
And
solid.
I know that Zach Kreger made Barbarian.
It's gross.
And I know that he's a weird little dude.
Yeah. It gets real weird, but it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So if he wants to weird me out with Julia Garner, I'm down. I'll watch it.
You say that now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Same.
Kids are so scary.
Not
I don't
with
wanna-
those
Can be, yeah.
poses. I couldn't.
They're just frolicking. They're living their best life.
Sure.
What's the next trailer?
The next trailer is not scary, unless you're like disturbed by how they made The Rock look like this. It's The Smashing Machine from A24.
This is a Dallas ass movie if I've ever seen one.
You know,
It is.
it's not.
No?
'Cause
Why not?
This is not a wrestling movie. This is a UFC movie.
What is the
But
difference?
it's a sports movie.
We don't have time to unpack all that, but UFC is
Yeah,
just
we don't.
stand in the ring and try to knock the other person unconscious, and wrestling is like it's a TV show with stunts in it.
Okay.
That is a very reductive way to say it. I'm sorry if I offended anyone on either side. Whatever.
Yeah. I think UFC, though, is like you can use any fighting style you want in that ring.
Oh.
Yeah, there are rules, but also UFC is owned and run by Dana White, who was a trash bag.
Isn't Vince McMahon also a trash bag?
so was wrestling for a while.
Vince McMahon does not run wrestling because he was ousted when we found out how much of a trash bag he was.
Oh, so that's the
Although,
difference.
Anyway, about this actual movie,
Yeah, it's made by one of the Safdies, Benny.
it is. It looks really good. The Rock does not look like himself, which is
Nope.
kind of a good start, in my opinion. Lose himself in the character. What really got me pumped for this movie was finding out that Emily Blunt is in it and is playing his wife, because they
Yeah.
had such good chemistry in Jungle Cruise that I am so ready to see them play a romantic couple again. But yeah, also, like, anybody who's been following The Rock's acting career from basically the beginning knows that The Rock has range, and he just hasn't been using it in recent years. So it'll be nice to see him do a drama again.
Yeah.
That's not just him playing himself.
Yeah, I said this is not necessarily a Dallas movie. I'm still probably going to see it. Like, I'm curious to see The Rock in this performance. Emily Blunt looks so hot in this movie. Like,
Hey,
Yo.
80s or 90s. I don't know what decade this movie takes place in. I'm gonna say 90s. I don't know, but 90s American Emily Blunt. All about it.
yeah, I'm excited. It looks, well, I don't know if I'd say excited, but like, I want to see what it is. It could be an Oscar nomination for The Rock, depending on how good it is. We'll find out.
I could see that.
Can you imagine Oscar nominated Dwayne Johnson?
I mean,
It's
get
A24.
that
It's a
sense.
Safdie movie.
There's that scene like everything's about you, the real intense argument. Like they're going for we want you to feel
It's not about
acting.
you.
As they should. Dwayne wanted to remind us that he know how to act.
True. Also, we know the Academy niggas don't watch the movies they vote for, so they're just gonna see A24 and
Well,
vote
no,
for it anyway.
now they have to.
No,
So-
that was what the article was saying. Was no, there are already loopholes.
They found loopholes.
You can just press the play and then mute it and do something else.
That's so true. That's so fun. And this is why I don't know if you can. This is completely off topic and not really a topic I want to discuss, but I don't know if there is a possibility where you can make people watch all of them. Like, there's
I mean, I
no
think
way
you would
of,
probably
like,
have to do
knowing
like
for certain.
theatrical screenings
Orange.
only. Or that. I was thinking something less torture, but to each their own.
Yeah, but like, you can't be in every single member of the Academy's house or at the theater with them and make sure that they've watched the thing. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
impossible.
That's why Clockwork Orange. You strap them to a chair, open their eyes, and
Dallas,
put on the brutalist.
Dallas, we can't do that. That's not nice.
Freaking
Like, how many
cancel
members of the Academy are there? I think there's over 1,000. Like,
These niggas like movies so much they should watch them.
they also work on them, though. So a lot of them are actually working.
Take 2 hours out of your day when you're in between projects. Let's go, people. If you're gonna vote,
Clockwork
watch the thing
Orange.
you voted on. No,
Clockwork Orange.
Dallas.
Fine.
There are 10,910 members of the Academy, including 9,934 voting members.
Yeah, we have enough Clockwork Orange machines for them. They can share the screen. So like the chairs, take an AMC, take that AMC that Nicole Kidman's always in. Just use that. Ain't nobody in there but her. Anyway.
Now she's part of the Academy too, I bet. So, she got to be in there too.
All right, strap her up. Anyway.
God. Disclaimer, don't actually do that. Next up.
Next trailer. We're away from movies and on to TV. Love, Death, and Robots is still kicking.
Ooh, baby.
It's still being weird.
Let's fucking
it's
go.
Still being artsy in its way. This is season 4. I like the way they do their trailers. Because they're like, hey, we got a bunch of stories. Here's a little clip of each of them.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
And the range. You got Nazis.
Yes, it shows
you got a dildo with eyes. You got
saw that.
Something for everybody.
Yeah. You got cats. You got tiny alien abductions.
Yeah. I fuck with it.
John Boyega's in there. The trailers move so fast.
They do.
What did I actually see?
You got visual
excited.
styles and general suggestions. They're going to be Nazis in one episode for sure.
Yeah. I'm always excited to see the range of art. Like we're getting one that looks kind of like that one where the guys were running on the ice.
Oh yeah.
I think that might be the one that has Boyega in it because they sounded like Fox is a bush, bro.
Like niggas.
Yeah, they sound like niggas, but England niggas.
Yeah.
They sound like Top Boys. But excited for that. I don't know what's up with the dildo with eyes, but I'm not supposed to know that yet.
Yeah.
Also, I heard Mr. Beast is in this. That's weird.
Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't love that, but
Ew.
It's 1 out of 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And he does seem to be. It's weird. He seems to be running some kind of
Oh no.
I don't know if dystopian is the word, but some kind of game show.
Like art imitates life kind of shit.
I think so. I think.
Oh no.
He's probably just gonna be like.
Wait, is that him in that one? Is that the dinosaur one?
At the end, he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen." Da, 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 da.
Oh no. I don't like that.
That's what the streets are saying. The streets is my source, so it's not the most reliable.
We'll see.
Source. Yeah, we'll see. We'll hear. It'll probably be him. Yes. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm always excited for Love, Death, and the Robots. I think we should make more weird stuff.
Yes.
So I'm always happy when they keep making weird stuff. 4 seasons, I'm with it.
Love it.
Yeah. Maybe David Fincher one day will go back to making freaking Mindhunter.
He won't.
He won't. I said I would stop doing that, I think, but whatever. I'm not going to.
Yeah, hold a candle for it. Maybe one day.
Of course I'm out for Mindhunter. That's the trailers. There are like 8 of them.
Yeah.
We did it, guys.
God.
Unless you guys want to talk about Now You See Me again.
I didn't see that trailer.
I did not watch that trailer.
Okay, I watch it. There's magic. There's more magic.
Okay.
All right, you got it.
Solid.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. I shouldn't have put that out today. You knew we were recording. Audience, thank you for listening. We missed you. You missed us. I'm deciding that right now. Thank you for listening to us. Crown Digital, Brandon and Io. Thank you for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Brandon, if you're listening, congratulations. I saw your you call them maternity pics when they post hey, look at the baby bump pictures on Instagram.
The maternity photo shoots.
Yeah, I'm gonna be an uncle again, and I love that for me.
Sweet.
Brandon, I love you and your family. You probably even listen to this. To me, thank you for editing. Thank you for putting us on YouTube. And thank you for double featuring Accountant 2 and Sinners with me. I'm so glad we did that together. Of course.
Had a great time. Especially, well, thank you actually for going along with my Let's Go See Sinners at City Walk idea.
Yeah, I'm about it.
We might have to start doing more IMAX movies at City Walk if we can pull it off.
I like it. That big ass screen was great. Gabby's not here. No, thank you, Gabby. Cassie, thank you for thank you for your 10-minute take. And thank you for being weird in the way I'm weird, because we kind of vibed on a lot of the same trailers, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap between. Yeah, I like that. I appreciate that. Audience, as always, you can reach us in the comments, or you can hit us on Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk about Sinners, please do that with me, because I am not done. Find me on Instagram or Letterboxd at a king named Simba.
You can find me on Blue Sky at Sassy Soothsayer. Talk to me about the process of immigrating to Canada, because that's what's on my mind these days.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
Geographically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a good time only doing Instagram right now. I do have a Letterboxd, and I think I'm going to change the username on my Letterboxd so that you guys can follow it. Because right now I have it under a burner account because I don't want a lot of people to follow it. But feel free to comment down below. Come talk to me about Sinners because new hyperfixation activated. I love a good new hyperfixation, especially when it has to do with Black people. So comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought. Thank you guys for joining us. Tune in next time because we will be talking about a movie that I have been waiting 7 years for, Thunderbolts.
Oh, yeah. You know, thunder them boats. Also, since Demi said that her Letterboxd is a burner account, I'm now going to run with the narrative that her reviews are just freaky as hell. It's just talk about titties and dicks and all kind of nonsense.
If only my Letterboxd were that interesting. It's not that interesting.
He's not Gabby.
And speaking of Gabby, thank you, Cassie. You can find Gabby on Blue Sky at Your Body Ain't Forget Me. It is all one word.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done. I was wondering which way you were going to go with that because I for sure was like, he could also do at Mouth Flap Lover.
Oh.
I don't think
Saving
that's
that for
her.
next time.
I don't think
Next time
that's her.
Cassie's not here.
It's
that
it's
one.
more of a Cassie vibe. Had Cassie not been here, had Cassie ditched us. Oh no, because then we would have never had that phrase without her here.
Yeah. I'm gonna tuck it later though.
I'm happy to offer my weird monster fucker takes. I rewatched a couple Alien movies like over the past few days. You know.
I don't.
You don't, and that's okay.
I don't either.
I got the experience of saying would and having someone actually agree with me.
I'm still reeling from the Donald Duck comment that you made to that picture that I sent. So
he looked kind of fine. That's got no context for anybody, but
Oh,
I was not alone in that. You will recall. So
that's true.
and I'm also still reeling from that because that was also unexpected.
That was a shocker. You weren't, but she was. All right. Yeah, it's been real different. Bye. All right, so about how Ryan Coogler made movies horny again.
Mm-hmm.
We love it.
Man said, "Baby, you're drooling," and she responded, "Do you want some?" And I saw that on an IMAX screen. Ryan Coogler. Ryan, you wildin'.
In the most detail you could possibly see it on an IMAX screen because that's a large screen.
The freakiness.